Alrighty, welcome back to Skeleton Knight to Another World. Anime Review, Episode 12. Yep. Yeah, this one appears to be the final episode of the season, per se, of the series. I'm sure it might get season 2, but as far as I can tell, this is kind of weird, though. Like, they comment in the episode at the end, oh yeah, this is the final episode. Either that or they're working on the final episode, I'm not sure. Yeah, this was the final episode, which is kind of weird. I'm not really sure why in the world they decided to end it for, but they did. It is by far one of the most baffling things done with this series. Mm-hmm. Yep. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at the release date for the physical release for the 10th volume for this light novel series. Comes on March of next year. Interesting. So basically, this episode finishes up Daphne Chapter 4, and there is an epilogue in the book. Now, does it adapt that? From what I can tell, no, it doesn't really adapt it at all. It does kind of its own thing a little bit. So basically, the whole episode is basically, like I said, adapting the second half of chapter 4, while basically adding some original content to it. Yes. Now, for example, the stuff with Ark himself and Nereus during his fight in the episode, that's complete from the book, except they kind of added something here. Basically, what happened to the fate of the Beast Tamer. So, they see that it's a Hydra, and of course, Ark notes is basically similar to how ways from Greek mythology. Now, I should point out, I didn't point this out though, my last review for this series. Now, in case you're curious, I've seen any other anime published by Japan that features an actual Hydra in it. Excuse me. The answer is no. This is the first time I've ever come across like this. And I've been reviewing anime now for 5 years. I've seen dragons, wyverns, lizardmen, elves, every single piece of fantasy stuff you would normally see in these type of series. But Hydra? Never seen one before. The only time I've ever seen a Hydra was actually in the Disney movie Hercules. Yes, I do know there's been other Hydras over the years featured in fiction, mostly in American fiction. Japanese fiction does usually feature Hydra because Hydra is basically a creation of Greek mythology. From what I can tell, they don't really delve into Greek mythology very much. It's very rare. The only series you can definitely see that kind of delve into a little bit is it wrong to Girl's Dungeon. But that one does feature Hydra, feature characters from Greek mythology, yes. But as for the creatures, well, the only comes close to is featuring a Minotaur. But that's it. No other creature from that mythology, because mostly it's all American stuff. Because basically American fiction loves using stuff Greek mythology. So, basic our battles of Philo, because of course he's able to survive a full blown fire attack, of course, sort of a water attack on him. And of course, Montana, think he's dead. So basically, there's a Hydra in a nearby town. So Ark basically comes to the genius idea, okay, because they have to get the Montamer. Arlene's got back her senses, of course, and she remembers apparently everything the guy said. So she wants to go after him. Or didn't now. Jerome goes with her too, but Ark is like, we need to do with this Hydra. It's like there's almost nothing we can do. It's a disaster. And he points out, though, something quite simple. Cyclones and tornadoes cannot be because of a form of nature. Hydra is a creature. It can be stopped. Like, it can be killed. It's like, yeah. So Ark basically handles himself. Now, the whole fight sequence with him versus the Hydra, that is from the book. It is mostly accurate. Except they actually don't have Arlene witness a lot of it. Yeah, because she is fighting the Monster Tamer. This whole sequence of her fighting Monster Tamer is complete anime original. Because I believe he went missing during the events of this particular battle. And by the start of her next book, he's considered to be missing. Not dead per se, just missing. Now, Ark does not make a note of the fact this Hydra is controlled by 5 of these rings. Yes, 5 of them. So, Ark basically fights this creature for quite a while, summons a freaking fire demon named Inkard, which they would destroy the creature, and then of course it will eventually disappear. Now in the book, basically, after he summons the creature, he says, "Oh, it'll disappear in 5 minutes." In the anime, it's 1 minute because basically that's kind of weird. So Arlene does not see the creature after he just barely defeats the Hydra. Gets on the mountain for a while, and beats him pretty easily. We see a brief flashback for him where his own clan considers him weak. The emperor of the country that's there. He, of course, basically is not basically surprised by his basically disappearance per se. Actually, I think I know that he's dead, but his employer rings basically still work. But they can't control somebody's power with Hydra, but they can still use them. Possibly set up a potential future season there. And by the way, I don't think we see the Emperor. And then, of course, right after this battle is wrapped up, by the very next day, Arlene gets a call via Hawk from her superior Decca. Well, apparently, the Elf Nation is in negotiations with Princess Yamina, the Princess Arc saved just a few episodes back. Yep, where she has successfully negotiated a peace treaty with him. Well, it's basically a former alliance. Support her, and she'll get the throne, and you'll get basically a particular very good, well-preserved alliance between her country and the Elven Nation. Yep, and of course the mission to hunt to go search for the missing elves has been canceled because the kingdom will take care of that themselves. So, what exactly is next, basically, for them? Well, afterwards, I water for a bit, and Ark takes out someone from Charmer, who actually has never seen what's on his face before. And of course, I was like, "Oh, you never seen his face before?" And he says, "Oh, why don't you go to the actual elf, the hidden ninja village, and possibly go back to the town?" That line, him saying "go back to the town," that is in the book itself. That's from briefly toward the very end of the chapter itself. Though, is it from the epilogue? No, because the epilogue has him actually go back to the village itself. Not sure why they didn't adapt to here, but they didn't. But yeah, I gotta say, really good episode. Like it basically does like a little bit of groundwork for a future season, like possibility Ninja Village, going back to the actual Elf Village for a future episode. They do bring up that a Duke married an elf. They do bring in the episode. But I kind of wish they would feature them here. But I'll get to more of that in the next episode. My final thoughts on the season for now. Well, the series anyways. Yep, but damn good episode. Love it. It felt like the film went by a little too quickly. Yes, despite the fact we had a 23 episode, it felt like this episode was about 10-12 minutes. Because how fast-paced the action sequence was in this episode. So, you can at least get praise the fact the episode's mixture of mostly canon stuff and original content. I'd say all Arc stuff for the book is kept here, except Arlene's has changed because she's actually here to witness Arc summon this demon, while in the anime, that doesn't happen. Nope, that does not happen at all. So yeah, not much to say about this episode. It's really good. Okay, so that's the particular view. Next one's going to be my final thoughts on the series. Well, basically final thoughts on the season per se, because I'm hoping for a season 2. Okay, next video. Bye.